It's grass cutting day. In fact, we've been cutting grass for a few days now, but it's the morning, ready for another day of grass cutting. This tractor is so cool. I can't believe I'd ever say that about a tractor. I am truly into the homesteading life now if I'm calling tractors cool.
We're the Indie Projects, Bee and Theo. In 2017, we bought an abandoned property in Central Portugal and spent the last few years turning it into a fully fledged homestead, converting an old stone barn into a cosy tiny home. Working non-stop and overcoming many obstacles, it turned out better than we ever could have imagined. As one chapter closes, another one begins. Our dreams of living even more remotely in a fairy tale forest with space for animals to roam and our passions to grow became a reality. Before we have even moved there, it was devastated by a huge wildfire, drastically altering the landscape. Immense flash floods followed as the land couldn't hold onto the water. Follow us as we carve out our new life on Miracle Mountain.
We need to get the roll bar up actually. We have to take it down when it goes in the garage, otherwise it doesn't fit through the door. It's quite handy because it does flip down, so we need to just flip it back up now. Do you need a hand flipping the roll bar up?
Yeah.
Need the lights. Does the lights?
Is that meant to be
I don't know. I'm sure that's. Why does that look so silly? That's better.
So I've been out on the tractor now collectively for around 4 hours, and I can't tell you how much I have got done in them 4 hours. It's absolutely ridiculous. I imagine if I really wanted to, I could get all of the grass cutting that I can do with the tractor done in a day. And the size of the property, you guys know how big it is, but it will get easier and easier as the years go on, because there are certain trees that need to come out that I'm having to weave in and out of. There's certain stones on the floor that now the grass is cut, I can go find the stones and move them. So each year it gets a little bit easier and a little bit quicker, but this tractor, I can't say enough good things about it. And I'm excited. I need to get on and get going, because the warmer it gets, the more my farmer tan improves.
Thanks to Squarespace, making your own website has never been easier. With ridiculously wonderful, customizable templates crafted by their world-class design team, which support all major content types including pages, galleries, blogs, commerce, calendars and more. Their groundbreaking drag and drop editor gives you total control of your website design, and pre-designed structures make your page building a breeze with pre-built layouts. Specific purposes such as contact, about, blog, portfolio and more are ready-made and arranged to quickly create professional layouts and showcase your content. Being able to integrate video blocks from our YouTube channel directly onto our website allows us to keep our website style while sharing our videos from an external platform. This is especially helpful for blog posts that reference the videos, giving readers a more in-depth look at the topic. With a snazzy looking website, you're also going to want a smart logo, and Squarespace has you covered. The browser-based design tool is easy to use and has an array of icons to choose from. You can change the font, the colour and so much more. So why not build your very own website with Squarespace today by clicking the link in our bio for a 2-week free trial, and we've got a fantastic 10% discount for you to use with the code indieprojects with your first purchase of a website or a domain.
And you might be wondering why we are cutting all of these beautiful flowers right now, and it feels hard to believe, but summer is just around the corner here in Portugal, and in a matter of weeks all of these beautiful flowers are going to be dead, and that makes them a fire hazard. So we need to clear these big swathes of land that at the moment are these gorgeous, gorgeous meadows full of a variety of different flowers, but we have to cut them. So this is something that we do every single year. It's what we did at our off-grid property. And we'd always notice different areas of the property would grow much better than the others, and that's definitely due to the water table. There are also certain deadlines that you have to adhere to in Portugal when it comes to clearing your land. You have to clear a certain amount of land around your property for safety reasons, and then it's also good practice to just keep on top of your entire property regardless. So these beautiful fields need to be trimmed. It feels really mean to do this to the flowers, but they've just got to go. And you can definitely do this task on a strimmer. It would just take an awfully long amount of time. So doing it on the tractor with the brush hog makes it so much more efficient. Look at the amount that it can cut. I think this is 3 sweeps here in this path that I'm walking on right now. And it really does just make it an absolute breeze. Theo will have this whole terrace done, I'd say within the next half an hour. So it's pretty impressive. I just like to keep a clear distance because, like Theo said, I think in a previous video, some missiles do get shot out from the brush hog because these fields, and I bet now I won't be able to see it, they do have some loose stones in random spots that you can't see. And if they get caught up in the chains, which is what cuts the grass, they get shot out. And I do not want to get hit with a shooting stone. And I realised that I said something about the water table and then just didn't say anything about it again. ADHD kicking in there, but what I was going on with that was that with the terraces, they have a really good amount of water supply going into them because they are terraces, and the way they work is that when it rains, it gets slowed down, it seeps down into the terrace and then moves down onto the next one. There's trenches along every single terrace that hold the water and allow it to seep through. So that's why we always see really good growth on the terraces, which is also good if you are planning on having an orchard or something like that. And that's how it was at our off-grid property too. The bottom terrace was so lush every single year. We would get the best oranges from that terrace. It's already a really stark difference between the flowers and the cut grass. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you can see them, but there's the stones, which are potential missiles, and I don't fancy getting cracked in the head with a stone. So we can see here, this is the perfect example. This is where it's been cut, and this is where it hasn't been cut yet. And it really does just clear it so good. I'm going to collect a load of flowers and dry them because there's just nothing better than flowers. I love flowers.
So I severely underestimated the size of our terraces. They're absolutely massive. I thought I could get it all done in a day, but they're way bigger than that. So we're on a new day now. You can see I'm rocking this amazing fashion brand. Which is basically just a t-shirt tucked in to my hat to stop my neck from burning, because I hate putting sun lotion on. I hate the feel of it. So this protects my neck. My arms are good. Look at that, it looks like I'm wearing a t-shirt.
That's a 3-year farmer's tan.
Proper farmer tan. But I'm excited to get out because I just got a couple more terraces to do, and then I can move on to the final part with the tractor, which is the cherry orchard, the main cherry orchard. I've done the other cherry orchards, but it's looking so nice.
You really can't tell on the GoPro how steep some of these tracks are between the terraces, and that's why Theo's going at such a slow and cautious pace. It's quite tricky, there are juts, there are little potholes, and it's impressive actually to be able to drive such a big piece of equipment through these areas. So I hope that kind of demonstrated the steepness of it. He loves it, look at his face. We're now on the final terrace of this area, and Theo's just prepping the tractor for the journey. It's funny, I don't know if you can hear it, but it beeps if you get off when it's still on. Ah yeah, we put the tripod in the bucket so we can get some nice shots for you.
I got a heart that burns, baby. I got a tree that yields fruit. I got a clock that keeps on ticking. I got a ship that sails true.
I got a song that I've been singing. I got a mind that fights fair. I got arrows I've been slinging. I'm a game of truth or dare. We got time, we got bones, we got spark down in our lungs. Cheating time, cheating death. Every time we take a breath, we don't have to do it alone.
You are a letter that I've been writing. You are a glass of Chardonnay. You are a prayer that I've been praying. You are my favorite birthday cake.
You are a book that I've been reading. You are a trumpet a mile away. You are an airplane I've been flying. You are the air.
So that is it. All of the terraces are now cut, and every time I cut a terrace, I just look back and it looks so smart. It's all cut, but then obviously all of the areas I can't get to, we've got all of the wildflowers that grow up that look beautiful, but in about a week's time, they will have died off because it will be too warm for them to survive. They'd die and then they become a fire risk. So we leave our grass as long as possible for all of the wildlife, but then last minute, we need to get rid of it. And I've got some ideas of how we're gonna manage the farm next year that I'm gonna tell you about later. But right now, I need to go up to the final cherry grove and cut there.
I'm taking a ride in the front loader. I literally feel like I'm on a theme park ride. This is so fun. There's loads of bugs caught up in the front loader here. I won't be able to show them on camera, but they're crawling all over me. Hello, goatees.
So I'm just taking the roll bar down, and you might be a little bit concerned for me doing that, but I'm at the cherry orchard where basically it's really flat and really safe. I've had the roll bar on pretty much everywhere else because I would not trust anyone else to be mowing our land on a tractor who doesn't know it as well as I do. I've walked this property now hundreds of times, and I know where every dip, every ditch, and some areas where I've been mowing, there's about a 10-foot drop on either side, and the last thing you want to do is fall down that on a tractor. You have to be super safe here on this land because it is rugged, it is raw in some areas, and I'll talk a little bit later. I want to show you guys some things, but I'll talk a little bit later of how I believed that they kept the grass down, the previous owners.
You've not said why you're taking the roll bar down though.
I'm taking it down because basically I got sidetracked. I'm taking it down because the cherry trees, I don't want to damage them, and obviously the roll bar is really high and it will just hit off the branches, maybe damage the trees, and that's not what I want. I want to slide underneath the trees.
Every time we take a breath, we don't have to do it alone. You are a letter that I've been writing. You are a glass of Chardonnay. You are a prayer that I've been praying. You are my favorite birthday cake.
You are a book that I've been reading. You are a trumpet a mile away. You are an airplane I've been flying. You are the actor, you are the play.
We got time, we got bones, we got spark down in our lungs. Cheating time, cheating death. Every time we take a breath, we don't have to do it alone. You are the fool that chases the moon. You are wrong, you are right. You are the hand with the lightning striking. You are the dark, you are the light.
So that is it. All of the tractor work is now completed for this year, and it's on to strimming. And how good does it look? This is one of the smaller terraces, and I'll throw the drone up and get a shot of me and Bee walking through here so you can see the scale, because I know for you guys it's really hard to tell how big this actually is, but the drone will give the perspective if we're in the shot. But I'm so happy with it. It's looking so neat and tidy, and once it's been trimmed it's going to look even better. But right now we have all the beautiful rows of wildflowers, and we have plenty of ideas for the future. Let me explain some of them. So what we're left with after I've cut the grass is all of this food essentially. This is hay. Once this dries out, you could rake it up, you could bundle it and bale it, and it's perfect for the goats to eat. So we have ideas for the future of maybe delegating one of the fields that we've got, a couple of acres, to just growing food for our animals. I think that would be a really nice and sustainable thing to do because we've got plenty of land. Why not use it to feed all of our animals? We're going to have tons of sheep, and we've got 4 goats who eat quite a lot, but we need more animals to help us with this property, and that's my next idea. I'm out of breath. So as well as growing hay, another thing we can do for the summer months is we can grow corn that the sheep will absolutely love. And one of my biggest ideas is to get a really decent sized flock of sheep, because this property is going to have to be maintained twice a year. It's going to need to be cut, trimmed, mowed, and if we can get all of the help from the sheep by fencing this huge area of all of the terraces off, that's going to make our life so much easier. And we already have the gates in place. So there's a gate here, there's a gate about a couple of 100 meters that way, and then I brought a load of gates back from the UK knowing that I wanted to do this in the future. So the fence would run all the way along the side of the river and all the way down here. It's a big job. I think we're going to need about 600 or 700 meters of fencing. So it is a huge job, but once it's done, it will be so much more sustainable. It means that the sheep will absolutely love eating all of this fresh green grass because it grows really nicely on these terraces, and they're actually really awkward to mow and especially strim because we have high-sided banks, as I mentioned before, which is quite dangerous when you go near them on the tractor. But when you're strimming them, you almost have to have one leg up here, or you're strimming. It's really hard work. So the sheep and the goats, they'd happily just walk up the banks and eat all of the fresh grass and wildflowers. They would have a ball of a time. So that is the plan for next year. Get this fenced in, get a big flock of sheep, and I'm looking forward to being a full-on professional shepherd. Yeah, I'm going to build a really nice barn for the goats and the sheep with water on demand. I'm also going to probably dig a pond at the bottom of the terraces where all of the natural water comes down the mountain and flows into. So there's a natural spring watering hole for the animals, so we don't have to come and make sure they've got enough water. They've always got water and food on demand. I'm looking forward to it.